Australia.
For James McCann!
You guys are thrilled about America. I like that you can abbreviate it into one... just one sound. Which I found out is, this is America. It's a full set, because it sounds like it's just short for America, but it's short for this is America. Which you shout a lot. I mean, you go to the Rose Bowl and there's a fighter jet going overhead and people go, this is America! America! It's like, yes. No one else is getting the military involved in collegiate sport. That is just you guys. But they say that everywhere. Like, you go to England and they go, this is England? For them it's a question. It's a sad question. Because I go, I love England. They go, England's shit. Oh, fuck, I hate England. It's all Muslims and crime. This is England? I can't believe... I'm glad the Queen is dead. So she doesn't have to live to say what they done to England. This is England. We say it in Australia, we say, this is Australia. We say it at Vietnamese people on the bus. We put it, this is Australia. You better speak Australian if you're in Australia. And that's not racist because it's our culture. Taking it away from us would be the racist. Anyway, a lot of people say it. The Chinese say it. The Chinese love saying, this is China. Yep, sadly, they keep saying it in places that are not China. You know? They say it in Hong Kong. They say it in Tibet. They say it in parts of the sea. That joke was originally about Israel, but my manager asked me to make it about China for some reason. I don't know why. My manager, my accountant, my lawyer, my agent, everybody said, I think that joke is a lot funnier if it's about China. I mean, I'm trying to fit in, all right. You guys have to... I'm not allowed to talk about Israel. You guys have a First Amendment, and that's great. I'm here on a visa, I don't have one. And that's one of two things I'm not allowed to talk about. I also don't have a Second Amendment right. I'm not allowed to own a gun that the government knows about. But I am in Texas, and it's so easy. Anyway, I do have a 13th Amendment. I'm not allowed to own a slave, but the first two amendments... No First Amendment. There's genuinely two things I'm not allowed to talk about. One of them is criticising... Marco Rubio passed a thing that if you criticise Israel, you can lose your visa. I'm allowed to criticise America all I want. I'm not... If I criticise Israel, I'm genuinely... But I wouldn't want to. What is there to complain about at all? Genuinely. Too peaceful. That's all I would say. Listen, I love... where's the camera? I love Israel. I love it. I'm a big fan. Sir, what is the month that comes after June?
July.
I would never say that. You know? I prefer to call that month Jew Tell the Truth. I think that's a better name for that month. I am sick of all the anti-Israel propaganda that I'm seeing. I saw a Facebook post where someone said Israel has killed or injured 50,000 children in Gaza. That's not fair. I've injured 12 children, I would say, in my life. Something like 12 children. As a child or through negligence as a father, I'd say I've been 12 child-related injuries. I've killed 0 children. But if you came out with a thing that said James McCann has killed or injured 12 children, while accurate, that would make me seem worse. So there'll be no more discussion of Israel. No. I am allowed to criticize America, but I don't want to because I love it here so much. It's been so good to me. I've even got a favorite school shooting. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys have a favorite school shooting. If you're just waiting to see what the new year brings. I don't... Well, I'll tell you about my favorite school shooting. It was a girl who did it, which is rare. All right, the vibe is shifted. I'll play a song. I'll play a song while I describe my favorite. All right. Can you hear it? So this girl goes to school with I think it's a revolver. She gets 6 shots. She unloads them into her teacher and her classmates. She missed everybody. That's my favorite bit about it. She missed everybody. She hit the walls. She hit a desk. I don't know if she heard school shooting and she thought, I'm going to go and shoot the school. But worst thing that happened was a splinter came off a table and hit a teacher in the hand. I swear. Isn't that great? She didn't even save a bullet for herself. A school shooter 101. She went bang, 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 click, click. I want to be the policeman going in to get her. After you kick down the door, hey! You got to apologize to these people. I can't remember if that really happened or if it's a dream that I had. Second thing I'm not meant to talk about is black people. I've noticed that doesn't work out for the whites ever. There's never like a news story on CNN where it's like a white guy has spoken on Black America and he's really hit the nail on the head. We're all thrilled with what he said. And genuinely that could tarnish my visa. These are the only 2 things that I think could hurt my... You would think there would be more, but I think genuinely I've got it down to those 2. Any racial hate gets me out, so we'll be a bit careful. Like when you're trying to get into America, there's a list of crimes that you can't have committed if you want to come into America with a visa. And it's like murder, and you go, that's fine. You know, I haven't done that. But they'll go like, you know, if you do a murder, you'll never get an office job in America. You've got to walk across that border like everybody else. But then there's a secondary list of crimes. And they're crimes that you can have committed unless you've done them as a hate crime somehow. So an assault, fine. A hate crime, assault, very bad. And some of that's all right. But then I'm looking at it going, well, how do I do a racially motivated drink driving? What steps do I actually have to take to get that done? I got to go to a 7-Eleven and give me 9 fireballs and directions to West Philadelphia, please. I can see no way to do it. I have no interest in talking about the state of Israel or African Americans, but the fact that I'm not allowed to do it really makes me want to. And when I was young, that felt like a good attribute. They can't tell me what to say. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And as I get older, it's just a big liability that stops people hanging out with me in groups. I was backstage and Al Pacino's baby mama was there for some reason. The mother of Al Pacino's child. It's a circle, me and some friends, and the mother of Al Pacino's... She's young, and he's Al Pacino. He's a very old man. And someone says, this is Al Pacino's, the mother of his child. And another friend grabbed me by the arm and walked me away. I said, I didn't do anything wrong. He said, I think you were going to. I'm not sure, but it felt like you were going to ask some inappropriate questions. And I was going to ask if the baby seemed unusually wise. But, so I will not talk about black people and I will not talk about Israel. All right, here's the big problem with Israel, as far as I can... You've got to kill a lot of innocent people to build a country. I'm sorry, have you forgotten? That That's the only way to do it. A lot of innocent people have to die. If you guys did it. You never talk about it because you did a lot of slavery afterwards and you really want to focus on the slavery. I get it. Yeah, you can focus on one thing at a time and that's bigger for you. I get it. Canada didn't do the slavery. They can't stop going on about stealing the land. But you guys did the slavery, so you've got to work through that first. It's like you've gone to a house party and shit your pants and then punched somebody in the throat. You know? And afterwards, everybody goes, oh, he punched that guy in the throat. That's terrible. But it's going to take a while before people start going, I think he shit his pants. You've got to work backwards through it. People have to... Those were the rules. For all of human history, the rules were, we kill you, we take it, goodbye. The ones who are left, if you complain, we're going to kill you too. You guys messed that up for everybody. I can criticize America. You guys are the real problem here. After World War II, you had the bomb. No one else had the bomb. You said, time out. These lines on the map are beautiful. We're going to keep them exactly as they are. All right? Because you had the best lines. You didn't want to fuck with your lines at all. You're not going to fill up Wyoming with suburbs for 1,000 years. You were very happy to say, whoa, time out. These are the lines. Time back in. Israel exists. Time out again. All right. Now that we've made that one correction, this new rule about where the lines are, that has never been the case ever at any point in all of humanity. All right, black people. Now, I do want to get to the... You deserve credit for this as a country, is that like for 4 years, you had the nuclear bomb and you didn't do anything with it, other than the first couple of times. You got it and you used it twice and then you said, no one's ever using these again. People said, didn't you guys just use them? And you're like, yeah, we were excited to get them. But now that we're more of a do as I say, not as I explode type of nation. Now that I've got them, we're just going to have peace everywhere, more or less. Basically, peace. That's incredible. You were the only nuclear power. No one could fuck with you. And that's what you went with. No one else would have done that. Give yourselves a pat on the back for that. If I was the Prime Minister of Australia and we got the nuke, I would have been going crazy. I would have been out there with a megaphone going, oi, Spain! Put hats on the dogs, Spain. I want photos. I want every dog to have a hat in Spain. All right. Thailand, send over 1 million hot women. They have to be women. They have to be real women. Don't try and trick us. Example number 3. Third thing. Do you know what I'm saying? All right. Now, I'm a big fan of black people. I don't know how many I've managed to bring out to my show. This is a very fractured media landscape, but I like it. It's new to me. I'm not from a country that has black people. That's entirely... We have Aboriginal people and we have African people, but we have no soul power. Do you understand? I'm from an all-white country. If you're on a flight in Australia and there's a bumpy landing, everybody's silent. People that say nothing and they got their hands crossed and they're anxious and they're scared. And then you just carry that nervous tension around with you for like a week. In America, if there is a bumpy landing, there will be a black guy on the flight and he's going to go, oh! And you know what? Genuinely, thank you for saying that out loud. You've helped us all work through the tension together. I believe that's called keeping it real, and I'm a big fan of it. I had my first conversation with a black woman in February last year. I'd met a couple of black guys before, because not everyone's good enough to play in the NBA. And we send our scouts out to your colleges, and we say, did you want to come and dunk on some honkies for a year? And every team in Australia is allowed to have one American. It's always a black guy. Every time. We've never once got a gangly boy from Utah to come out. It's never an Eastern European guy. It's always a black guy. And I get to meet my first real conversation with a black lady. I was in West Virginia at a Taco Bell. I didn't know what parts of the country were important to visit first. It's not there. Yeah, it's almost heaven, West Virginia. Almost doing a lot of the heavy lifting in that. It's purgatory. Everybody, I was buying my Doritos tacos so I could feel a little less suicidal. You know how it is. And I came around to the intercom and everybody was like, there were like 8 people gathered around the intercom laughing at my accent. I don't think anyone from outside of this country had ever been to this West Virginia Taco Bell. I don't know what would bring them there. Anyway, I don't know what. It's a long story. I got to the first window. There was a lady there. She said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Australia." And then to be cheeky, I said, "Are you from Australia?" And she said, "I'm black." Do they treat black people nicely in Australia? And I said, "No." And I drove on to the next window. I was not ready to have a full civics conversation. You tap and you go. I just sat at the next window feeling very sad and embarrassed. And then I was more embarrassed when she appeared at the second window, which was not her job. She had left, she'd taken the headset off, walked the full length of the Taco Bell, leaned across somebody and said, "You really got a problem with black people in Australia?" And I said, "Listen, I love black people, I think. This is about number 4 that I've ever, my entire life, but I'm a big fan. I was trying to say my country has a problem." And she said, "Oh, well, that's what's up." And she gave me a fist bump, and it was the happiest day of my whole life. I've honestly never been so thrilled. I've joined the team. I'm an ally. I started smoking menthol cigarettes. Bill Cosby didn't do it. He was a good man, brought down by some people I'm unable to speak about right now. We love Bill. Well, the love for Bill goes hard out here in Philadelphia to this day. Those women's happiness was a small price to pay. No, he definitely did it. I am genuinely a big Kanye fan, though. I really... Not the music, just the politics. I love Kanye. And by the way, not the anti-Semitism. The anti-Semitism I disapprove of entirely. The anti-abortion stuff, 100% of the way with Kanye. Listen, we don't have to talk about that either. I shouldn't talk about that either. There's a couple more things I shouldn't talk. Anyway, we'll get to that potentially in the... I love Kanye. I'm a big Kanye defender. When he came out the first time and said he loved Hitler, I was defending him that day. I said he only said that because he's a Christian and he loves everybody, even Hitler. And that's a good Christian. That's what we're all called to do as Christians. Loving each other here this evening, that is entry-level Christianity. Kanye loving Hitler, that's advanced. He's brought himself to love even Hitler. This is saintly behavior. And then Kanye came out shortly after that and said he also really liked Hitler. And I thought, no. That's ever so much worse. Kanye likes Hitler. I don't know if Hitler would like Kanye. I suspect he would not. But I could be wrong. I mean, I could be. Maybe Hitler would love Kanye. Hitler would be like, "Wow, you're so cool. I love you. I loved jungle music and I love the Future shoes. And I'm a big fan of your ex-wife with the big fat ass. You know? That's a gas chamber we can all get behind. I do believe. That could go on for too long. We better pull out of that immediately. I'll tell you about my favorite ever Kanye West lyric. Favorite Kanye lyric of all time is, "When I go raw, I like to leave it in." you may know a thing or two about the... when I go raw, I like to leave in it. Do we all know what that means? There's no condom and you ejaculate in the pussy. It's the only way to do it. It's what I like. It sounds dirty. It's not. That's one of the few rap lyrics you could play to the Pope. You know, and he could hear that and he'd go, yeah! That's how we've been telling people to do it for a long time. I'm so glad a fellow Chicago South Sider is spreading the good word about going raw and leaving it in. It's the only way to do it. It's the only. If you've got a friend who's depressed, you say, have you tried going raw and leaving it in? Because I think you'll be thrilled by the... Who loves condoms? That's what I thought. And pulling out. Who pulls out? It's one of the worst reaction times I've ever heard. That is not going to be an effective method of contracepting for you. Pulling out is gross and evil, and it makes sex bad and lame. I'm not allowed to give this speech at middle schools anymore, so I've had to become a comedian. I really am a big anti-pull-out guy. It ruins the sex. Yeah, because you know, it's like going to a party and leaving your hat on the whole time, and your coat, and you're always getting ready to leave. You never really settle in. Do you know what I'm saying? Sexual congress is about, you're meant to be getting closer to one another and closer until you get to the moment of ultimate closeness, at which point you have to go, get the fuck away from me. Oh, no. It's not about pulling out here, it's about pulling out here. It's one of the things I like about America. It's a very go raw, leave it in country. You don't call it that. You call it land of the free and home of the brave. Because you think about it, there's nothing more free than going raw. Baby. And there's nothing braver than leaving it in. I mean, that'll... All right, that's really all I wanted to record. That'll be about a half hour.